news and talk. Welcome to the evening show. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. As always, we've got a massive show for you tonight, guys. Literally, we were about to focus the show on Rasmus Hojlund, and then we get a story coming out about Marcus Rashford. So with about 5 minutes before the show starting, I had to change the thumbnail, change the title, completely revisit everything I was going to talk about. So yeah, this is big breaking news, guys. It's literally coming out. I'm going to jump straight into it. Why not? Literally coming out in the last 10 minutes. This is coming from Bild in Germany. 2 million followers on Twitter. I believe they are just a kind of a newspaper media company. Anyway, so they are reporting that PSG are looking to sign Marcus Rashford as they brace for the departure of Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, I know this is a Manchester United channel, but I'm sure you guys have been following the PSG Kylian Mbappe situation closely. He's refusing to sign a new contract. He's got 1 year left on his deal, and it looks like PSG will be forced to sell Kylian Mbappe this summer for a fee of around £150 million. Now, off the back of this, we're getting the story coming out from Bild. And as I just said, apparently they are interested in Kylian Mbappe. Let me know how you're feeling about that one in the live chat, guys. This literally came in the last 10 minutes. As I said, I wasn't planning on talking about this because it didn't even exist until 10 minutes ago. So it was very, very raw, very, very fresh. So you are literally getting my live reaction to this. I'm in a bit of shock, to be completely honest with you. At the end of the day, you've got to remember that PSG were heavily linked to Rashford. I think it was last year or the year before. Rashford still hasn't signed a new contract yet. You've got to remember that, guys. We thought the contract was done, but as it stands, the new contract hasn't been signed. We were hearing that he was going to be paid 350 grand at Manchester United, and all the Manchester United fans were saying, that's ridiculous. We can't be paying him that, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, this is a big story. Rashford has 1 year left on his deal at Manchester United, I believe. Let me just double check that for you guys. Let me just fact check that one. So he was on a 4-year contract. His contract expires in 2024. So he has 1 year left on his Manchester United deal, Marcus Rashford. Welcome everybody, by the way. I didn't even get to say hello to everybody. I've literally just jumped straight into this because, as I said, it's literally just come out in the last kind of 10 minutes, and I thought I need to bring this straight to the show. We need to talk about this immediately and kind of get each other's thoughts. Anybody just joining, the story that's coming out from Bild, media company called Bild, they've got 2 million followers on Twitter, are saying that PSG are looking to sign Marcus Rashford as they ready themselves for the departure of Kylian Mbappe. I think it's almost a given that Kylian Mbappe will leave Manchester United this summer. That is, leave Manchester United, will leave PSG this summer. That is going to happen. He probably will go to Real Madrid, won't he? And PSG will want a replacement. They will. Now, I'm just going to jump straight into this. I brought you the news. I brought you the story, as I always do, and now I'll give my opinion. You've got to remember, Rashford hasn't signed a contract yet. Okay? So in my eyes, I'm thinking, is this Marcus Rashford's team trying to get a bit more money? I mean, that seems the most likely option here. It does seem a bit of a coincidence, doesn't it? Just as he's about to sign a new contract, PSG are supposedly interested in him. But, on the other hand, PSG were linked to him not that long ago. I think it was last year or the year before. PSG were heavily linked to Marcus Rashford. I mean, it feels mad thinking about Rashford leaving Manchester United, doesn't it? But Mason Mount's just left Chelsea. He's been there since he was 6 years old. They have a big poster, don't they, saying he's our wonder boy for Mason Mount, and he's just joined Manchester United and looks like he's, at home. So I don't want to say never, because football's football. If people come along and say, we'll offer you 400 grand a week, you'll be the poster boy of our project, etc., etc., then I do think money does talk sometimes. And at the end of the day in football loyalty is kind of gone. Long are the days where one person plays for one club for all of their career. I mean, Harry Kane might be the last player of our generation or my generation who could stay at Tottenham for the whole of his career. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy though. It is a big story. Let me know in the live chat how you're feeling about this one, guys. Let me know what you're thinking. And please do smash a like on the video. We've got a target of 230 likes this video. So let's see how quickly we can do that tonight. We've got loads of other stuff to talk about on tonight's show, but all my brain can think about is this Marcus Rashford story, because it is a massive bit of news. It really, really is. Marcus Rashford had an incredible season for us last year. He got 30 goals in all competitions. Such a good player for us. He had a couple of shaky seasons, let's say, before that, but I would be sad if Marcus Rashford left Manchester United. I really, really would. Yeah, it's a mad one. I don't even know how to react to this. I really don't. I want to just say that this is Marcus Rashford's agent trying to get himself more money, because that would make sense. He hasn't signed a new contract. he obviously is going to want 350 grand a week, isn't he? He's going to want to be the highest paid player at Manchester United. He's going to want to be paid more than Jadon Sancho, who's on 350 grand a week. Now, is this Marcus Rashford's agent with one last little tactic to try and bump up that weekly wage to try and increase his contract? That is a strong possibility. But I do think his contract stuff's gone very quiet recently. And now that we're getting this story coming out, literally in the last 15 minutes, that PSG are looking to sign Marcus Rashford as they brace for the departure of Kylian Mbappe. Like, it seems a bit mad, but at the end of the day, it's not completely unbelievable because we know that they were interested in him before. Kylian Mbappe is going to leave PSG pretty much, I think. Obviously, his contract runs out. Both of those players, Rashford and Kylian Mbappe, have got 1 year left on their current deal. Let's see what people in the chat are saying. I mean, to be honest with you, nobody in the chat is that upset. Most people in the chat are like, sell Rashford, bring in Mbappe, swap deal for anybody asking how much they're offering. At this point, guys, they haven't put in a bid. This is just a story coming out saying that they are looking to sign him. So ultimately, if Kylian Mbappe leaves PSG, which is reportedly going to happen because he has 1 year left on his deal and he won't sign a new contract, then they will look to sign Marcus Rashford as a replacement for Kylian Mbappe. I mean, they play on, they both, yeah, it's such a difficult one to give an opinion on. Because, I mean, if they're going to offer £150 million, then maybe that's worth doing, you know, but they're not going to with 1 year left on his contract. Let me know how everybody feels about this story that's just come out. I mean, most people in the chat don't really care, which is a bit crazy, to be completely honest with you. At the end of the day, though, Marcus Rashford is the poster boy for Manchester United. He is Manchester United through and through. He's come from the youth academy. You know, the stuff he does off the pitch is just honestly so good. And I think he's such an asset to have at the football club, not just because of how good of a footballer he is, but just because of the story that he's, you know, a Manchester United born and bred fan, all the rest of it. It is a nice story. And I do think it would be very difficult for PSG to get Marcus Rashford to the French league. To be completely honest with you, I could see Marcus Rashford retiring at Manchester United. I could. But let me know how you feel about that one. At the end of the day, PSG have got the money. They could offer absolutely crazy money for Rashford, couldn't they? They could give him, I mean, how much is Neymar on a week? I would imagine he would want the same amount of money as Neymar, wouldn't he? Neymar is on 700,000 euros a week. I mean, what's that? About £600,000? Marcus Rashford at Manchester United is on £200,000. So Neymar earns triple the amount of money that Marcus Rashford currently earns. I mean, when you look at it like that, if somebody comes in with that amount of money, it is a possibility. It is. And as I said before, guys, football has changed. Footballers are not loyal to clubs anymore. It is sad. You don't see the days anymore where one player stays at one club all of their career. Mason Mount is a prime example of that. You know, been in there since he was 6 years old. As soon as he thought that he wasn't going to get a new paycheck, he comes to Manchester United. And don't mistake me here. I'm really happy that Mason Mount's come to the club. But it is just mad, isn't it? Somebody who's like the poster boy for Chelsea, been there since he was 6, is now joining Manchester United. Like, it does seem a bit weird. So I'm never going to say, you know, never say never. But my honest opinion, I think that this is just another tactic from his agent to try and bump up the price. I do. But do let me know in the live chat and in the comments section what you think about this story. The line ultimately is that PSG are looking into Marcus Rashford in the case of Kylian Mbappe leaving, which I do think will happen. But obviously, this isn't a PSG channel, so I'm not going to talk about Kylian Mbappe for too much longer. Right, let's have a look who's in the chat this evening. I hope everyone is doing well, by the way. I literally jumped straight into that story because it just came out, and I thought, let's hit the nail on the head. Let's discuss this. Somebody says, swap Rashford for Mbappe, swap deal for Mbappe. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody in the chat doesn't seem that against Rashford leaving, which is a bit mad, to be completely honest with you. I would be gutted if Rashford left Manchester United, I would. But for all of the reasons that I said before, I wouldn't be happy if Marcus Rashford left the club. I really wouldn't. I think we need to keep him at all costs. We really do. Everybody's saying swap Rashford and Maguire for Mbappe. Yeah, I mean, people are coming with good things. Robert says sell him for 150 million and buy Kane and Hojlund. Yeah, I get that, I do, but I don't know. I just don't like the idea of Marcus Rashford leaving Manchester United. I don't know why. He just feels like the kind of last youth player that we have that's actually worked out at the moment, you know? Like, we don't really have anyone else, really, do we? Like, who else has come through the youth academy? McTominay, Elanga. Yeah, and we pride ourselves on our youth academy, guys. We do. Everybody's saying swap Rashford for Mbappe. I mean, I mean, that is a great... Let me know in the live chat then and in the comments. Would you swap Marcus Rashford for Mbappe? I'm not going to comment on that one because I think it's too hypothetical. I mean, obviously you'd have to, wouldn't you? But it would kill me to see Marcus Rashford leave the club. It really, really would. I love the guy. Yeah, Jimmy says he's a good player, but not world class. I mean, he got 30 goals for us last season, guys. Yeah, he came off the back of a really, really good season. So I'm not going to disrespect Marcus Rashford. I'm not. I know he's had a couple of shaky seasons for us, but he has done really well for us last season, especially. And I still think he has a lot of room to improve in his game. He's still young. I know he's not, the 20-year-old who burst onto the scene many, many years ago, but he's only 25, guys, Marcus Rashford. Like, I know Mbappe's young as well, but it's not like he's a 30-year-old and he's kind of past his best. But anyway, let's move on to another story because those people, yeah. As I said, guys, this story literally came in about 1 minute before I was going live. So I thought, well, this is definitely a bigger story than Rasmus Hojlund. So let's kind of focus on this. But yeah, let me know in the live chat and let me know in the comments section what you would do with Marcus Rashford. Would you be open to selling him to PSG if the offer did come in? Or would the line be Marcus Rashford stays at all costs? My opinion, I honestly do think that this is just a bargaining tactic from the agents of Marcus Rashford. He hasn't signed a new contract yet. I do think that this is just a tactic, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. Let me know in the live chat and in the comments section. And let's move on to another story. Let's move on to some positivity because that first story was a bit... I mean, some people are happy that he's potentially going to go, which I think is a bit mad, but that's up to you. Anyway, let's move on to another story, guys. So we've got a couple of new bits of information coming from Sky Sports today about Marcus Rashford, about Rasmus Hojlund. So, Sky Sports earlier on today have said that there is currently a gap in valuation for Rasmus Hojlund, but Manchester United are optimistic that a deal can be done. So, Sky Sports in the UK reporting today that there is currently a bit of a difference between how much Atalanta want for Rasmus Hojlund and how much Manchester United are willing to pay. Someone's saying the audio is too low. Is the audio all right? I mean, the audio is the same as it is every time I ever stream. So let me know in the live chat, guys. Does the audio sound okay? Somebody's saying it's too low. Maybe you just need to turn your volume up. If enough people in the chat tell me it's too low, obviously I'll try and sort it out. But I've never had anybody say the audio is too low. So let me know in the live chat, guys. Is the audio okay? Anyway, back to the story. I got sidetracked there by the chat. So as I said, Sky Sports News today reporting that there is currently a gap in the valuation between how much Manchester United are willing to pay and how much Atalanta are willing to sell for. Manchester United do, though, believe that a deal can be done and are feeling optimistic. So that's positive. That's really, really positive. And there's an extra bit of the story that I want to bring into you guys right away. So Sky Sports also report that Manchester United are looking at the possibility of sending Amad Diallo to Atalanta on loan as part of the Rasmus Hojlund deal. Erik ten Hag, however, wants to see how he does in pre-season before making any decisions. Let me know how you feel about that, guys. So Sky Sports reporting there's a gap in valuation at the moment, but Manchester United are currently exploring the possibility of loaning Amad Diallo back to Atalanta. Obviously, remember that we bought Amad Diallo from Atalanta originally. How do you feel about that? I'll give my opinion super, super quickly. I think that Atalanta and Amad would be a great loan move. I think that'd be really, really good. I would be super happy if Amad went back to Atalanta for one season and we got Rasmus Hojlund. I think that'd be a great bit of business. I don't really like the idea of him going back to the Championship. I think if he goes to Serie A, that's really, really good experience for him. Big up Jack in the chat. Jack's saying, get a new laptop, mate. The audio is fine. Oh, that's great. But yeah, let me know. I've seen some people on Twitter talking about this, and there was some quite controversial takes coming out about this one, right? I saw people on Twitter saying they would rather keep Amad Diallo and get rid of Jadon Sancho. What do you think about that? I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of actually agree in some ways. Hear me out. I would like Jadon Sancho to go out on loan this summer, and I would like Amad Diallo to get a chance. I'm not saying he's going to start every game, but I think he does deserve to come off the bench and actually get some game time because he's gone off to Sunderland on loan. We bought him 2 or 3 years ago, Amad, and he's never really had a chance. And every time he has had a chance, I thought he's looked pretty good. Like, genuinely, he looks like a good player. And so does Pellistri. So if it was up to me, I probably would loan out Jadon Sancho instead, personally. But obviously, it's not up to me. So, yeah, that's the story that's coming out from Sky Sports, that Manchester United are exploring the possibility of loaning Amad Diallo to Atalanta as part of the Rasmus Hojlund deal. And Manchester United are feeling optimistic that a deal can be done for Rasmus. So I think, again, with that one, I think it's a matter of when, not if, for Rasmus Hojlund. I'm not saying it's going to be done by tomorrow, but the story that's coming out is that Ten Hag wants to get as many players on that plane to America, which I believe sets off in about 10 days. The preseason tour starts in 10 days, I believe, guys, in America. And Erik Ten Hag wants to bring as many of his new signings on that tour. So he wants Onana, he wants Rasmus, he wants Mason Mount. So yeah, we need to get this deal done quick, but I think it will obviously be Onana first and then Rasmus Hojlund. So let's keep an eye on that one. As soon as we get some definitive news on the Rasmus Hojlund one, we will obviously report that to you. If everyone can smash a like on the video, guys, that would be absolutely amazing. There's over 200 of you in the chat already, which is honestly so good. So if everyone smashes a like on the video, we'll hit our target for the end of this stream, which would be incredible. So yeah, again, big ups to everybody who is joining us this evening. Yeah, I hope you are enjoying the show so far, and let's move on to the next story. Let's talk about Onana quickly. We obviously did the video earlier on today saying that Onana's deal is in the final stages. This was coming out from multiple sources in the UK saying that the Onana deal is now at the final stages. So the story even goes on to say that Erik Ten Hag wants the deal signed by Friday. So I think we can expect to see Onana in a Manchester United shirt at Carrington, doing his medical, all the rest of it by Friday. The fee is believed to be 55 million euros, including add-ons, which is, let me just get that, it's 47 million pounds for Onana. The breakdown of that is 43 million up front plus 4 million in add-ons, which honestly, guys, I think that is an incredible bit of business. It's going to be a contract until 2028, which is a 5-year deal, and the reported wages are 7 million euros per year, which is about 6 million pounds per year. Now, please just take in mind really quickly, David De Gea was on 20 million pounds per year, right? We've got rid of him, which some people will say was the right decision, some people will say was the wrong decision. That's up for you to decide. He was on 20 million. And our new goalkeeper, who's just been in a Champions League final, is going to be on 6 million. I mean, that is great business. That will mean us saving 14 million pounds a year in wages, which can go back into our budget to buy players and will really help us out with financial fair play. So I just want to say, I don't give the Glazers or the Manchester United board any credit ever, but I honestly think that this is a great bit of business, and I'm really happy about what they've done here. We're getting, in my opinion, a world-class goalkeeper. I reckon one of the top 10 in his kind of style, you know, sweeper keeper, good at distribution. I'd say he's in the top 10 in the world, Onana. But let me know in the live chat, where would you rate Onana out of all of the kind of similar goalkeepers in the world? Obviously, him and De Gea are completely polar opposite goalkeepers, aren't they? But I honestly think that Onana is in the top 10 goalkeepers in his kind of style in the world. So to get him for 43 million pounds, honestly, guys, that is an incredible bit of business. And to be only paying him a quarter of what we were paying David De Gea, amazing business. Hats off to them for that one. Great business. And then the other positivity around the goalkeeper situation, it was reported earlier on today that Dean Henderson will complete his move to Nottingham Forest as soon as he is fit again. So if anybody is unaware, Dean Henderson got injured towards the end of last season when he was on loan at Nottingham Forest. He's back at Carrington at the moment. He's still not 100% fit yet. Obviously, you can't sign a player when they're not fit because they'd ultimately fail their medical, wouldn't they? Because they'd have an injury. So as soon as he's fit again, that's believed to be at the end of this month. It looks like he will complete his move to Nottingham Forest for a fee of around 25 to 30 million pounds, which is amazing, guys. Really good business. I'm trying to be positive. It's really difficult to be a positive Manchester United fan at the moment. So I'm trying to take every little bit of positivity and relay that back to you, because I know how difficult it is at the moment, guys. I know how frustrating the takeover stuff is, and I know how devastated everyone is about how the Glazers have destroyed this football club. So I'm trying to take every little bit of positivity and not spread negativity. I'm not deluded to what's going on, though. Obviously, I'm still Glazers out, and we will talk about the takeover a little bit later. But I'm just trying to be positive, guys, because otherwise it just drives you insane, doesn't it? If we sit here every day saying, oh, this, the takeover, that, it just makes everyone miserable. So I'm trying to be positive. I'm not, covering up for the Glazers. Whatever happens in this transfer window, whatever happens in the future transfer window, the Glazers need to leave. That's a fact for me. There is no doubt about it. The Glazers need to be out of this football club. But I am going to try and be positive. I am. And I hope you guys are okay with that, because I know some people will say, I don't care about transfers. I want the Glazers out. Yeah, so that's me, guys. I'm trying to be positive. Everybody who's new, by the way, please do subscribe. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. Let's see how quickly we can get that. It doesn't cost any money to subscribe. So, you know, I don't know why you wouldn't. We're live at 8 a.m. UK time and 6 p.m. UK time every single day. Yeah, we've got a great community here, guys. So yeah, if you are new, please do get involved. And please smash a like on the video. It doesn't cost any money. We're about halfway to our target for the end of the video. So get involved, show some love. Why not? It doesn't cost any money. Right, let's move on to the next story. We've obviously had the Rashford one to start off with. We've then had the Rasmus Hojlund one. We've then had the goalkeeper situation. Let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Harry Maguire. Now, we did touch on this morning's show, but I'm going to bring it up again. So apparently, Manchester United want £50 million for Harry Maguire. Okay? Which is absolutely ridiculous. There is no way Harry Maguire is worth £50 million ever. Reported today by Sky Sports is that Manchester United captain Harry Maguire will be having talks with Ten Hag when he returns from pre-season to ultimately to determine what the plans are for him. Will he still be at the club or not? Ultimately, nobody's going to pay £50 million for Harry Maguire. No one. Not even a club in Saudi Arabia would pay that. Nobody is that stupid, okay? He'd be 20, 30 tops, in my opinion. What we have to remember, though, is Manchester United are obviously going to come out and say they want 50 for him, because what bargaining power do they have if they say, oh, we want 20 for him, and then someone will say, all right, we'll give you 5. So I do think this £50 million quote, asking price, whatever you want to call it, is a starting point. They'll say 50, someone will come in and say 20, and then they might agree on 30. Do you see what I'm saying, where I'm going with this, guys? So I don't think it's as negative as some people are making out, like we're stuck with Harry Maguire forever, we're never going to be able to sell him, you know, we're never going to get 50 million for him. I think that somebody will pay 20 to 30 million for Harry Maguire, and I think we can get rid of him. It's just whether the wages will be an issue. That's the big issue here, guys. It's the wages. He's on £200,000 a week. Nobody's going to pay that in the Premier League. I mean, even like Tottenham, what's Tottenham wages? Let me just have a quick look for you. So Tottenham have been linked to Harry Maguire. Obviously, Harry Kane will be on a lot of money. So Son is on 192 grand. So Son, who in my opinion is probably Tottenham's best player after Harry Kane, is on less money than Harry Maguire. I mean, that's nuts, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. Hugo Lloris is on £100,000 a week. So yeah, Harry Kane's on 200 grand a week. There you go. Harry Kane is paid the same amount of money at Tottenham as what we pay Harry Maguire. That is absolutely crazy. So the only way this deal can happen with Harry Maguire leaving, I have mentioned this before, but I'll bring it up again super quickly, right? So say a team pay us 25 million for him, right? But are only willing to pay Harry Maguire 150 grand a week. Harry's obviously going to come to us and say, well, I'm not against the move. I quite like the idea of going to Tottenham, but they're going to pay me 50 grand a week less than what you're paying me. So ultimately, we'd have to pay him out of the difference of his contract. So if he had 2 years left of his contract and he was losing 50 grand a week for 2 years, we'd have to give him that money, which would approximately be about £10 million. So say Tottenham buy him for 30, we then have to give Harry 10 and then he leaves. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's the only way you get him out of the club, unless we let him run down his contract. So that's the situation with Harry Maguire, guys. I don't think it's all doom and gloom around him. I think people will come in for him. Ultimately, nobody wants him at Manchester United. The fans don't want him. Erik ten Hag doesn't want him. I think the other players on the pitch, they don't really respect him. He isn't a captain. As I've always said, guys, I don't want any hate or any, nastiness towards the guy. He's obviously a good footballer. I mean, I'm sat in my room making YouTube videos and he's a professional footballer. So hats off to him. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's good enough to play in Erik ten Hag's team. In his style of play, he's not. He's good for England, but he's not good enough for Manchester United. He could go to a West Ham, he could go to an Everton, a Tottenham, and I think he'd get in the first team every week. And he'd probably look like a good player. And you'd see pundits like Jamie Carragher saying, oh, I can't believe they got rid of him. Harry Maguire's world class, But what they don't understand is he's world class in a certain system, right? Harry Maguire is a good player in a certain system. For England, he does look world class. He does. If any of you guys watch the England national team, Harry Maguire has never put a foot wrong for England. And that's because they play 5 at the back. It's defensive. They sit back. They don't, attack. They haven't got their centre-backs on the halfway line. It's a completely different style of game. So yeah, that's my take on Harry Maguire. I don't want to spread hate about him. I wouldn't maybe go as far as saying he's world class. I did actually just say that. He's not world class in any team. But he isn't rubbish. He isn't. That's completely unfair. He just doesn't fit Erik ten Hag's system, and we all know that. Erik ten Hag needs fast defenders and Harry Maguire does not have any pace. So that's the black and white with Harry Maguire. We've got to keep an eye on it. We will, of course, report any news we get on Harry Maguire as soon as we get it. There's something else I wanted to bring into the show really, really quickly. People probably aren't aware of this person, but I do think it's important to bring this up. So we had some sad news today. One of the Manchester United scouts, who I believe is the Scandinavian scout, so obviously like Denmark, Norway, etc. His name's Tommy Nielsen. He passed away today, so obviously we want to say rest in peace to Tommy Nielsen, who was the Manchester United scout of Scandinavia. I don't know much about him, to be completely honest with you, but I have seen it going around today. So obviously rest in peace. Obviously really, really sad. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that into the show because I do think it's important to touch on that. Right, let's move on to the next topic then, guys. Do let me know in the live chat how you're all doing as well, and if you've got any things that you want us to talk about. I will be reading out some comments and stuff in the second half of the show. I always try and get through all the news and all of the like exciting bits in the first half, just to kind of power through it, and then in the second half we can read out comments and do all the other good stuff. And I hope you guys don't mind that, because otherwise I find like I kind of lose my flow a little bit. I read something and then, yeah. So I hope you guys don't mind that. I'm just going to see what is going on. Right, let's go back to the topics for today's show. Where are we? Right, we've got some news on Donny van de Beek, guys, that we wanted to talk to you about really, really quickly. Everyone, please do smash a like on the video super quickly. Let's try and hit our target by the end of the video. I'm confident we can do it. We usually do hit our targets because of this amazing community. So let's see if we can do it. Okay, so here we go. We've got some news coming out about Donny van de Beek, literally the forgotten player. So apparently there's a long list of teams who are interested in Donny van de Beek, okay? This came out today. So the headline is, Erik ten Hag has given Donny van de Beek the green light to leave the club this summer. Donny van de Beek is available to leave, which I think makes sense. So apparently Inter Milan, Roma, AC Milan, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Sevilla, Nice, Celtic, Ajax and Feyenoord are all interested in Donny van de Beek. So he's got a lot of clubs interested in him. He's not a bad player again. I just don't think it's worked out for him. So I do think that Donny van de Beek will get his move this summer. If you were to ask me now, if I was to bet on it, I would say that Donny van de Beek and Fred will leave the club this summer. And I have a feeling that Scott McTominay might stay. I would sell Scott McTominay personally. I'd sell all three of them. I would. I'd bring in Amrabat. I'd bring in Lavia in replacement of them. But I do have a feeling that Scott McTominay will stay. I just do. For some reason, he's liked around the squad. They say he's a good character. He's a good lad. He's come through the youth academy. You know, he's got that kind of favour above the others. Like Fred and Donny, they can just leave, can't they? But somebody's come through the youth academy. You know, he's a good lad. The other managers liked him, all the rest of it. You can see Scott staying at the club, can't you? But if West Ham come in with a 30, 40 million pound bid, I would say sell him. I wouldn't even blink. I'd say get rid of him. Bring in Lavia instead, or bring in Amrabat. Get rid of Donny, get rid of Fred, get rid of Scott McTominay. Bring in Lavia, bring in Amrabat, and then maybe even bring in one more player. Or I would really, really like to see Kobbie Mainoo get some game time next season, guys. Honestly, I don't want to hype him up and I don't want them to have like pressure on him, but I honestly think there is a real player there in Kobbie Mainoo. If you're unaware who he is, he's obviously a youth player again who's come through the youth academy. He's a midfielder. He was on the bench for quite a lot of games last season, but he didn't really get any game time. There was that kind of famous clip that was circulating in the League Cup final, and Erik ten Hag, just after they lifted the trophy, had his arm around him and he was kind of taking it all in, and you could kind of get this feeling that he was saying like, take this moment in, like you're part of my future. I don't know. I just get this. Apparently he's a really, really special player, this Kobbie Mainoo. 18 years of age, come through the youth academy, a midfielder. So I would honestly, I know this sounds dramatic, but I would rather see him get game time than Scott McTominay next season. Scott McTominay is done for me. He can leave the club. But yeah, let me know about that. Let me know if anybody in the chat has watched Kobbie Mainoo before. What I have seen of him on compilations and clips and stuff, he looks really, really good. And I think Ten Hag does like him. So yeah, hopefully Fred goes, hopefully Donny goes, and hopefully Scott McTominay goes. Those three people out. Get Amrabat, get Lavia, and then, you know, kind of give Kobbie Mainoo some actually proper game time next season. Because at the end of the day, guys, we've already signed Mason Mount, right? So if we bring in 2 more midfielders and let go of 3, then we've sold 3 and brought in 3. So that's great. That's fine. We're in just as better position. We've improved. We've got better players. We've got rid of worse players. It's win-win. Right, let's have a look. Let me know in the live chat, guys, if anybody has watched much of Kobbie Mainoo before. I've seen a couple of games of him in the youth academy, but not loads, to be completely honest with you. I've seen lots of compilations of him, and he looks like a really, really good player. So I hope Kobbie Mainoo gets some game time next season. There isn't any stories of him going out on loan, so I do feel like Ten Hag does want him to be at the club. So let's keep an eye on that one, and let's just hope that Donny, Fred and McTominay go, and we bring in better players, because that's what we need to do. There are better players out there, as we've just said. Lavia's available, Amrabat's available, and we've already got Mason Mount. So yeah, it's positive overall, guys. And we have got a story about Fred as well, actually, guys, just on that topic. Freddie boy. 1 year left on his contract. Pastor Fred. Has anybody seen the pictures of Pastor Fred? After the stream, type in Pastor Fred on Google and you'll thank me later. Honestly, guys, type in Pastor Fred. It will make your evening. Anyway, so we've got a story about Pastor Fred. You're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? But have a look on Google when the stream finishes. Type in Pastor Fred and you will see. Okay, so we've got a story coming out earlier on today saying Fred is one step away from leaving Manchester United. And we do expect a bid to come in from Fulham, and Saudi Arabian clubs are also heavily interested in Fred. So I do think we might get a little bit of a bidding war here for Fred. I mean, if we can get 20 million for Fred, I will be absolutely buzzing. I will. That'll be a great bit of business. Get Fred out the door. He's got 1 year left on his contract, 30 years of age. I don't think he is good enough to play for Manchester United, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he's ever looked good enough to play. Do let me know in the comment section, guys. Does anybody like Fred? He tries hard. He's kind of likeable, but he's not very good, is he really? Let's be honest. He's not very good at passing. I don't really know what Fred's actually good at, to be completely honest with you. He runs about a lot. I guess he puts in some effort. But other than that, I don't really know. And as somebody says in the chat, Mount is an upgrade on Fred any day of the week. So that's a positive. Let's look at this really, really quickly, okay? Fred, Mount, we've brought in to replace Fred, let's say. He's an upgrade. You bring in Lavia to replace Donny, and then you bring in Amrabat to replace McTominay. I mean, that is amazing. That would be great. Somebody in the chat saying you look like Amrabat, mate. Well, funny story there, guys. I'm actually going for the Amrabat look. So thank you to the person in the chat who has said that I look like Amrabat, because that's who I want to look like. I'm a hybrid between Amrabat and Erik ten Hag. That's me. Okay? Hybrid between Erik ten Hag and Amrabat. Me, Kieran. But yeah, thank you for that one. I quite like that comment. It's quite funny. Let me know in the live chat, who do you think I look more like, Erik ten Hag or Amrabat? Best comment will win. I don't know what you win. You'll win something. Not sure what yet though. Right, let's move on to the next story, because I am now just rambling on about probably a load of rubbish. Okay, where are we? Let's just touch on this one really, really quickly. So it's not the most exciting bit of news, but Manchester United have contacted Zion Suzuki, who is the 20-year-old backup goalkeeper that we're looking to bring in. Obviously plays in the Japanese league. I don't really know too much about him, to be completely honest with you. He will be a backup goalkeeper. Nothing really to get that excited about. £5 million, that's what's been reported. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that one anyway. It does look like we will be bringing in another goalkeeper. Obviously to be a backup to Onana, because Dean's going to leave and De Gea's obviously already gone. So yeah, anybody who's just joining late as well, you're probably thinking, what is the video title about? We did speak about it at the beginning of the show, but Bild in Germany are reporting that PSG are looking to sign Marcus Rashford as they brace themselves for the departure of Kylian Mbappe. We did speak about that at the beginning of the show, so anybody who wants to, go back to the beginning, you're more than welcome. But we are going to move on to the next topic. And everybody, we're about 100 likes away from our target for the video. Please do hit the like button now, and we'll hit the target, and we can all, I don't know, maybe I'll do a little dance or something. Who knows? I'll have a think about it. Anyway, let's move on to the next chat. Loads of people are giving their comments about whether I look like Ten Hag or Amrabat. I love it. It's good. I'm up for the banter, guys. I'm all here for the banter. That's what football's all about, isn't it? If you can't take banter in football, then football is not the sport for you, in my opinion. Obviously, as long as it's like, as long as you're not saying anything abusive, then obviously that's fine. But this is the comment of the chat, actually. Hot Fuzz 44 has said, you look closer to a bold Orlando Bloom. I mean, I like that. I really like that one. Orlando Bloom. Yeah, okay. Pirates of the Caribbean. Honestly, guys, you're making me blush now. I'm going to have to move on from this topic because you are making me blush. But yeah, that's the comment of the chat. Hot Fuzz 44 says, I look closer to a bold Orlando Bloom. I'll take that any day of the week. Thank you very much. That's made my day, that has. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Where are we? We will be talking about the takeover in a minute, and the topic of discussion is going to be, will the Glazers sell Manchester United? It's the $1 million question. It's the question everyone wants to know the answer to. And we will be talking about it a little bit. So yeah, in about 10 minutes or so, we'll talk about it for the last 15 minutes of the show. I am conscious about every stream, people asking about the takeover, and then we kind of just talk about it. And I think it gets a bit boring. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but we will all discuss it as a community towards the end of the show. Right, there was a story that came out earlier. I'm going to put this one straight in the trash bin, but I wanted to bring it to you anyway, guys, to see what you thought about the player and see whether you thought this story had any legs. So there's a report coming out from a Spanish newspaper saying that Manchester United are interested in signing Atletico Madrid midfielder Marcus Llorente. United have already added blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Llorente would be available for around £51 million. How does everyone feel about that? As I said, I don't think this story has much legs, to be completely honest with you, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. It's coming out from a newspaper in Spain saying Manchester United are interested in Marcus Llorente from Atletico Madrid, and he would apparently be available for around £50 million. How does everybody feel about that? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comment section. Would you like to see Marcus Llorente at Manchester United? I'm going to chime in really, really quickly. Marcus Llorente at Manchester United, that would be a quality signing. Really good player. Definitely would suit Erik ten Hag's system. I think he would be good. But as I said, I think this one maybe is a little bit of a trash story. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. I just thought I'd bring it in because we have been linked to him. We get linked to so many players, guys. Hundreds and hundreds of players every single transfer window. So at the end of the day, some of them are trash and some of them have legs. And I think this one is trash. Right. Let's move on. Let's read out a few more comments really quickly, actually. We haven't read out too many comments this. So somebody's saying Amrabat is a better player or Paulinho. Someone's asking about Axel Disasi. Let's talk about that really, really quickly. So anybody who missed the stream yesterday, we were talking about the centre-back situation at Manchester United and specifically Axel Disasi from Monaco. He's a 24-year-old French centre-back, obviously plays in the French league for Monaco. And Manchester United are reportedly holding talks with his camp over a potential move. This came out from Fabrizio Romano yesterday. He also said Newcastle are talking to him. There hasn't been any talks between the two clubs yet. No bids have gone in, but apparently he is top of the centre-back list for Manchester United. Me personally, I don't think we need another centre-back. I don't. I think we've got Martinez, Varane, Luke Shaw can play there, and we've got Lindelof. We've got 4 good centre-backs, and we've probably got a whole array of promising youth players who can play at centre-back as well, who deserve a chance. I don't think we need this Axel Disasi guy, to be completely honest with you. I would not bother with him. But do let me know in the live chat. Somebody has asked about it. We have been linked to him. I think at this point it's just, a link. I don't think that it will probably materialise into anything. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Obviously, if we get any more news about this player, we will, of course, bring it to the show. But as it stands, there's nothing to talk about on that sense. So yeah, we'll keep that one on ice for now. But someone did ask, so I thought I'd bring it in. Right, let's read out a few more comments really, really quickly. Quite a few people are posting some quite negative stuff about the takeover. We are going to talk about the takeover in a minute. And the topic will be, will the Glazers sell Manchester United? And I, of course, will welcome all of you to give your opinions and all the rest of it. As I said, I don't think the Marcus Llorente story has any legs, but I thought I'd mention it anyway because a Spanish newspaper were reporting it. And ultimately, it is a news show. So I thought, why not bring it to the show, see what you guys think. I think it's trash, but maybe you guys think it will happen. We'll wait and see. I don't think so, though. Anyway, let's move on. We've kind of gone through all of the main bits of news for this show. I'm just going to double check about the Marcus Rashford situation to see if anything else has broken in the last kind of few minutes. There is a story that's just come out. This is not the most glamorous one, but it is a news show. Apparently, Everton have made an inquiry about signing Tom Heaton from Manchester United. I mean, that's probably the most boring bit of news I've ever spoke about with you guys, but it is still news. It looks like Tom Heaton might go to Everton. I literally couldn't care less. But anyway, I've told you, if you're excited about that, then good for you. I'm personally not. Right. Again, the main bits of news coming out are saying that Manchester United, Ten Hag, want Onana at the club by Friday, and they're confident that will happen. There isn't really anything else coming about Marcus Rashford at the moment. Obviously, if anything else comes out in the next kind of half an hour, we will be able to talk about it. But as it stands, there was only that one story coming out from Build saying that, PSG would be looking to sign him if Kylian Mbappe leaves the club this summer. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, right? If I was PSG, Kylian Mbappe obviously wants to leave, okay? He probably thinks that he's not going to win the Champions League there. He doesn't like the way the club's going and he wants to go to Real Madrid. If I was PSG, I'd say, Kylian Mbappe, we're going to sign Marcus Rashford and you're going to stay. Because I swear Rashford and Kylian Mbappe have a bit of a bromance going on. Like, I feel like with PSG, the reason why their players want to leave is because the people they sign are just, I don't know. Most of the time with the PSG signings, they're just a bit dead in it. I mean, who have they signed? They've signed Asensio. They've signed like 2 or 3 players already this transfer window, and none of them really excite me. But anyway, this isn't a PSG channel. Let's move on to another topic. Let's have a look. Yeah, somebody in the chat saying about Lindelof. Yeah, I 100% think Lindelof deserves game time next season, guys. He did really, really well last season. He really did. Yeah, somebody else is saying if we sell Tom Heaton, we won't have anybody to go in goal for the friendly games because Dean Henderson's injured, so he's not going to play. If we get rid of Tom Heaton, we literally won't have a goalkeeper. We have got this other guy from Czech Republic though. I can't remember his name, Matej Kovar or something. So we will have a goalkeeper, guys. Don't worry. Right, let's have a look how we're doing on the likes front. Let's have a look. We're less than 100 away from our target for the video, guys. So everybody just smash a like on the video really, really quickly. And let's hit our target for the video. Why not? Let's have a look then. All right, let's talk about the takeover really, really quickly, guys, because I know everybody wants to talk about it. I know it's the hot topic. So the question is, for the last 20 minutes of the stream, we've gone through all the news. We've gone through everything that I wanted to speak about in relation to news stuff. So let's talk about this question. I'm going to ask you first. Everybody in the chat, will the Glazers sell Manchester United? That's the question for you. That's the topic of discussion for the last 20 minutes of this show. I'm asking you, the people of the Daily Red Devil community, will the Glazers sell Manchester United? Let me know how you're feeling. Everybody let me know in the chat right now how you're feeling about the situation as it stands on Monday the 10th of July. We're 7 months into the process. How are you guys feeling? I will, of course, give my opinion, but I want to see a few more people get their opinions in. To round up, just for anybody who's unfamiliar with where we are, I'm sure you all are, the latest bid from Sheikh Jassim, his 5th bid, may I add, was reportedly around 6 billion for 100% of the club. Sir Jim offered 3 billion for 50% of the club. That's where we are at the moment. Both parties haven't heard whether they've been successful. Sheikh Jassim's last bid was put in 4 weeks ago. He still hasn't heard whether he's successful. So they're still waiting. They're still being kept in the dark, just like we are. How are you guys feeling about the situation? Do you think the Glazers will sell, or do you think they will stay? Let's just start off with this. Somebody says in the chat, this takeover is a circus. Yeah, it's a complete circus, guys. It's an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. I don't want to go on about it because I literally it makes my blood boil when I start thinking about it properly, about how the Glazers have destroyed this club and how, you know, the disrespect they've shown this club in the sale process. Right, let's read out a few chats before I give my opinion. Right, so we've got some people says yes, they have to. Somebody says Glazer out. No sale, never. I think everyone is bored of the sale. Yes, I agree. They don't, we are done. If they don't, we're done. When I think of the Glazers, I think of Leo Grossman from Tropic of Thunder. Not sure who that is, to be honest. Glazers will stay. Yeah, I mean, guys, it's the $1 million question, isn't it? I've said my piece on it before. I still think it's between Sheikh Jassim, full sale, and the Glazers staying. I do. That's the only two options I see. I think a couple of weeks ago when we spoke about it, I said I was like 70% in my head that they'd sell to Sheikh Jassim, 30% that they would stay. I'd probably say it was 60-40 now in my head. It's gone very, very quiet. I think the honest situation here, guys, this is my opinion. I've not got this from anywhere. So make of it what you will. My honest position on the current situation is they wanted 6 billion, right? That was what was reported 7 months ago. At the beginning of this process, they said, we will sell Manchester United, but we want 60 billion. That was what was being floated around in the news, okay? They wanted 6 billion. It took 5 bids and 7 months for Sheikh Jassim to get to this 6 billion figure. They've now hit this 6 billion figure, and I feel like they're all saying, maybe we want a bit more now. Maybe it's, you know, 7 months later, things have changed. Erik ten Hag's done really well on the pitch. They've just won the the League Cup. We think he's gonna win the Premier League in the next few years. We want 7 billion now. We want 8 billion. I honestly think it's something like that. I really, really do. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do sell the club to Sheikh Jassim. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up paying more than 6 billion. I honestly think that, because I think that that's what the stumbling block is. They've got their 6, but they're now not happy with 6. They now want more. They're greedy. They're glazers. Like, what do you expect? That's what I think. But do let me know in the live chat. Let me know if you do think they are going to stay or not. Let me know in the comment section as well after the video goes live. That's my take on it. I'm going to read out a few chats really, really quickly. So somebody says the Rain Group needs to tell the Glazers the deadline to make the announcement. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, the Rain Group don't need to do anything. The Rain Group's job is to get as much money as possible for the Glazers. And in all fairness, the Rain Group are doing a great job. Not for us as fans, not for our mental health or our well-being, but they are doing a good job. They're driving the price up. They've got 5 bids out of Sheikh Jassim. Hats off to the Rain Group. If you're the Glazers, you're saying you've done a bloody good job. Well done to you. You know, they're getting a commission. Anyway, somebody says, let's ask Rio. Where is Rio? I mean, I'm not going to slag off Rio Ferdinand. At the end of the day, guys, that quote that came out was actually from the co-host on that show, that Joel, I can't remember his second name, Joel something, on that 5 Live podcast. At the end of the day, guys, I don't know. I'm not going to slag off Rio Ferdinand, but that comment is quite funny. You know, he must have heard something from somebody to say what he said. And at the end of the day, information, regardless of who it come from, can be incorrect. So, yeah, it is what it is. Right, let's have a look. All right, this is a great question. Really, really good question. Liam says, what would you do if Qatar back out now? There is a bit of a conspiracy going around that some people think that the Glazers are dragging it out and hoping that Qatar backs out, and then they can say, we didn't get the offer we wanted, we're going to stay at the club. There are theories going around that that's what's going on. Again, I don't know. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I think it's potentially true, but I don't know. I honestly just think they're being greedy. I think they wanted 6, 7 months ago. They've now got their 6 after 7 months and 5 bids, and now they think, well, if they're willing to pay 6, maybe they're willing to pay 7. I honestly think that that's the conversation they're having. You know, oh, maybe we don't want to sell anymore, but if you offered 7, I think we would. It's obviously something like that. They're just leeches at the end of the day. They want to suck as much out of us as they possibly can, and that's all they're there to do. And all the Rain Group are there to do is to make as much money as well. So you can't really blame them in some ways, you know. I know you're thinking, why are you saying that? But they're doing what they set out to do. They're there to make as much money as possible. They don't care about us. They don't care about the future of the club. But anyway, guys, let's move on to something a bit more positive, because I do like to spread positivity, and it is a negative time at the moment around the takeover. It really, really is. Right, this is a great question, all right? Somebody says, is Bayern Munich getting Harry Kane? Obviously, we spoke about a story this morning saying that, I think it was The Independent had reported that obviously Tottenham still want Jadon Sancho, we want Harry Kane, potentially there's a swap deal to do there. I mean, it's probably unlikely, but it could happen, right? As it stands with Harry Kane at the moment, Bayern Munich have put in 2 offers. They put in one offer in of 70 million euros, which was rejected. Then they put in another of 80 million euros, which I think has also been rejected, which is around 70 million pounds. I honestly don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Harry Kane. Apparently Tottenham have offered him a new contract, which he's rejected. So if Daniel Levy has any sense, he will sell him now, because he's got an 80 to 100 million pound asset sat there, and he will leave for free next summer if he doesn't sell him now. So let's hope that Daniel Levy does the right thing, and let's hope he sells us to Manchester United. Imagine if we got Harry Kane and Rasmus Hojlund. Oh my God. Oh God. That would be so good. But I feel like if we get Harry Kane, the Glazers will stay. I just have this feeling. I have this horrible feeling that the takeover will keep dragging out, and then they'll sign Harry Kane, and then they'll announce they're staying, thinking that it will shut the fans up, but it just won't. Nothing is going to shut the fans up now. They could go and sign Mbappe, Neymar, Kane. You know, they could sign the best 11 players in the world this transfer window, and the fans would still want them out. The damage has been done. There's nothing we can do. Somebody says Kane will retire at Manchester United. Welcome to everybody joining in the last few minutes. And as well, guys, we're like 70 likes away from our target now. So let's try and hit that by the end of the video. That would be a really, really good achievement. Let's have a look. Somebody says Sancho plus 60 million for Kane. The thing with getting rid of Sancho, guys, is he's still only 23 years old. He's young. He's not anywhere near his prime. I just feel like we'll let him go, and then we'll regret it later down the line. It'll be another Paul Pogba. We'll let him go, and then we'll bring him back for God knows how much money in a couple of years' time. let's have a read of a few more comments. Lots of people saying, please stay at Manchester United, Marcus Rashford. You know what's really funny? At the beginning of the show, everybody was like, oh, swap Mbappe for Rashford. I don't really care about Rashford. But now there's a load of people coming in the chat saying, please, Rashford, don't go. Somebody says, sell Rashford tonight. Wow. I personally wouldn't like to see Rashford go, guys. I wouldn't. And I mean, we're never going to swap him for Mbappe. Mbappe's on about £1 million a week, isn't he? There's no way Manchester United would pay that. All right, this is another comment coming in. Someone says the Glazers' issues always makes me to remember that CR7 was right, but too many of us didn't understand what he was saying. Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, Ronaldo, he was the one who started this. He spoke out against them. He said they didn't do a good job. They've let the stadium rot. They've let Carrington rot, blah, blah, blah. They have to go now. They do. They have to leave the club. They really, really do. Yeah, somebody says Kane will come to Manchester United on a free next season. That would be incredible. Honestly, if we get Kane for free next season, that would be an amazing bit of business. But imagine the competition that you're going to have for Harry Kane's signature when he is a free agent. So many people will want him. So I do think it will be a difficult deal to do. I really, really do. Somebody says Sancho is a bad buy. Big wages. Sancho must go. I don't know, guys. Obviously, you're entitled to your opinion. He's been here for 2 years. His wages are ridiculous. They are 350 grand a week. It's disgusting. But that's not his fault. It's not. Manchester United paid that. Ollie agreed that. Ed Woodward agreed that. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't. I honestly think with Sancho, guys, he needs to go and get a loan move somewhere else. I think it'll be the best for him. I think it will, he'll find a love for football again if he can go somewhere else. He just doesn't look like he's happy, for whatever reason that might be. I don't know what's personally going on in his life. I'm not going to comment on that, but I do think a loan move would be good for him because somewhere he can go, play first team football every single season for 1 year, all of the press. I mean, remember that thing? Remember that? I mean, it's literally a meme now. Do you guys remember Sky Sports News, right? He didn't score any goals in his first 7 goals, and they did a graphic, which was him dressed as James Bond, saying 007, 0, I can't remember what it was. It was 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 matches. I mean, Sancho has been absolutely berated by the UK press. How they've treated him is absolutely disgusting. It honestly is. When you compare how Jack Grealish has been treated at Man City, Jack Grealish is hauled as this, this icon of English football, the legend. He gets pissed. He goes out on 3-day benders. Nobody says a bad word about Jack Grealish. Yet Sancho, he doesn't score or get an assist in his first 7 games. They dress him up as James Bond on this graphic. And then they put 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 appearances. I mean, it is actually disgusting when you think about it. And it's not fair, like how some people get treated and some people don't. I really don't like it. And yeah, I'm not going to be part of the get Sancho out of my club kind of club, unfortunately, guys. Obviously, if you want to do that, then that's completely up to you. But I think we need to support these players. He's a 23-year-old man and he plays for the biggest club in the world. Yes, he's on ridiculous wages, but that's not his fault. It's not. I want Rashford. I want Sancho to do well. I really, really do. But anyway, let's move on to something else. Let's read out a few more. Yeah, I think one more season for Sancho is fair. It is. Somebody trying to say that Rashford's moved to PSG already. Unfortunately, I don't think that's happened, mate. You're not going to get me there. Right, let's read out a few of your chats really, really quickly. Somebody says Grealish just dives everywhere. Yeah, he does. Honestly, I don't like... I know this isn't a Manchester City channel, but I'm just going to say it anyway because I feel it's important to say. I think it's actually sad, Jack Grealish. I really, really do. Like, it isn't, in my eyes, cool to be like an image to young kids and you're just absolutely pissed all the time because he is at the moment. I know they've just won the treble and you're probably saying, lighten up. He's a professional athlete. He wants a bit of time off. But it's not just a little bit. Like, you see all the other Manchester City players and they're like completely sober and they're like having to carry him along because he hasn't been to bed for like days. It's like, that isn't a good image to portray to children. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be this like almighty being who's looking down on people who drink alcohol or do drugs or whatever, but like, I just honestly don't think that it is a good image for young children. And I think all of the press in the UK are so up his ass and are so like, oh, he's great, he's a national icon, and I just don't see it. I really don't. He's a good footballer, but I just don't think he's this national icon, and I think it's really bad how he's portrayed in the media. But anyway, this isn't a Jack Grealish channel. This is a Manchester United channel, so I did think it was important to say because why not? You know, at the end of the day, this channel's for us to have a voice, and you can have a voice and I can have a voice. So I'm just thought I'd bring it into the show. Let's read out a few more comments. Somebody says, please, can you give me more update about Greenwood? To me, I really love him to stay back at United. That's just my opinion. So in relation to Mason Greenwood, guys, it does look like Manchester United will loan him out this summer. There was talk of him going to Atalanta. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. I honestly do not think we'll see Mason Greenwood in a Manchester United shirt this season, guys. That's all but been confirmed that Manchester United will look to loan him out. He hasn't played professional football in 18 months. Even if you want him for whatever reason and you put all of the stuff that's happened aside, he hasn't played football for 18 months, okay? He hasn't. He hasn't played football. He hasn't even trained. He's going to need a year, at least, probably, to get back to the level of what Manchester United in the Premier League requires. So even if you do, you're one of those people who puts everything aside, puts all of what's happened aside and says he needs a second chance, I want him back at the club. If you are that person, which is up to you, I'm personally not, then I don't think that he can play at the level we require for a very long time. 18 months of not playing professional football or not even training. That's crazy, guys. So obviously you can say, I want him back, but I do think him going on loan is the best decision. And I think that is the decision that has been made reportedly. Where, we don't know yet. There was links to Atalanta. Whether that will happen as part of the Rasmus Hojlund deal, I'm not entirely sure. It's one to keep an eye on. Obviously, as soon as we get more definitive news, I will obviously bring that to you. I've given my personal opinions on Mason Greenwood before. I can't be bothered to do it again. If you have an opinion, that's completely fine. But obviously you have to respect and value other people's opinions on him because it is a difficult topic to talk about. And if people have different opinions, that's completely fine, all right? You're allowed to disagree, but just disagree respectfully. That's what I want to, encourage here, guys. It's a community. You can have your say, but yeah, people with differing opinions, like, we should all be respectful. That's how I want this community to grow. I don't want it to be like hating somebody because they have a different opinion to you or whatever. Right, let's see what else we've got. Let's read out a few more comments. We've got about 5 minutes left of the show. Please do like the video if you haven't already, guys. We're like 50 away from our target, so let's hit that by the end of the video. I'll read out a few more comments before we finish up. We've got 5 minutes left. Been a great stream tonight, guys. Really, really good. Some great chat had. Let's read out a few more comments before we finish. So somebody says here, again, this is a community. I'm not an evil dictator. Somebody says, Fred and McTominay are underrated by everyone, but everyone has their own opinion. Now, I don't know whether you're saying that... because I disagreed about the Mason Greenwood thing, or you actually think that Fred and McTominay are underrated. If you do, that's completely fine. I'd love to know why you think they're underrated. I just don't think they're good enough for Manchester United. I think they're good enough for West Ham, for Everton, for Aston Villa. Yeah, definitely. They're good footballers. They're professional footballers. They play for the national team. But I just don't think they're good enough for Manchester United. Underrated? I don't know. I'm not sure if that's fair, to be completely honest with you. I'm not saying they should go and play in League 2 or, be in the Conference League. Like, they're Premier League footballers, 100%, but just not for Manchester United. Let's read out a few. So we got another positive one here. This is a good one. Bob the Builder. Big up Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder's in the chat, and he says, Hojlund in the middle of Rashford and Antony excites me. Yes, he's unproven, but he's never played with this quality. Honestly, guys, I am so excited about Rasmus Hojlund. I think he'll be amazing at Manchester United. I don't want to over-egg the pudding. I don't want to overhype him. I was quite negative about him at first. I was a little bit concerned, but when I actually did a bit more of a deep dive into his stats, the stats are actually a bit misleading because a lot of the games he played for Atalanta last season were off the bench. So if you actually look at the minutes played in Serie A last season, he averaged a goal and assist every other game, right? If you actually look at minutes played, so per 90 minutes, he averaged a goal or an assist every other game, which for a player who's only 19, just turned 20, in his first season in a proper league, I think that's really, really good. So I'm excited about Rasmus Hojlund. I'm excited about the work that Ten Hag and Benny McCarthy, the striker coach, can do with him. I think they can turn him into an absolute monster. Let me just remind you of this, guys, all right? Let's rewind back to a certain Sebastian Haller. If you don't know who that is, Sebastian Haller, he moved to West Ham in the Premier League, I believe, for quite a lot of money. He played in the Premier League. He completely flopped. He was absolutely rubbish. He was. I'm just having a look at how much they paid for him. So West Ham paid 50 million euros for Sebastian Haller. Okay? He came to the Premier League and he got 10 goals in 48 matches. Terrible. 1 goal in 5 matches for a £50 million player. Absolutely rubbish. Ajax, Erik ten Hag, takes a punt on him. He brings him to the Eredivisie and he turns him into an absolute monster. He does. I know you're probably going to sit there and say, oh, it's just the Eredivisie. It's not the same, which I do agree with. But in his first season with Ten Hag, he got 21 goals and 7 assists in 31 matches. Averaged a goal or an assist every single game. Versus for West Ham, he got 1 goal every 5 games. So my point here, guys, Erik ten Hag has proved before that he can develop players. He can turn people who are in a bit of a rough patch into really, really good players. Think Rashford, he got 5 goals in the season before. He's just got 30. And I do think that Rasmus Hojlund and Erik ten Hag and his coaching team can be an absolute beast and we'll have a monster on our hands. So I'm really, really positive about that. Yeah, I think he's proved to us in the past, guys, that Erik ten Hag is the man for developing players. So I am excited about that. I am going to wrap the video up here, guys. It's been an incredible stream. It's been 1 hour. We will be live, of course, at 8 a.m. UK time tomorrow morning. If anything breaks between then and now, we will, of course, go live. So please make sure you're subscribed. Please do make sure you hit the notification bell. As I said, we go live at 8 a.m. UK time and 6 p.m. UK time every single day. And if anything breaks between those times, we will, of course, go live. Everybody's welcome in this community. We're growing really, really quickly. Every single night I enjoy speaking to you and every morning I enjoy speaking to you. So again, massive shout outs to everybody. Some great chat tonight. We've covered loads of topics. Please smash a like on the video on your way out. It doesn't cost any money. And please do subscribe if you're new. Lots of love to you all. Peace out and I'll catch you guys soon.